Alex Stone.
Alex Stone.
Alex Stone.
Alex Stone.
I want to point out my adopted nephew, Alex Stone.
He's the host of the Alex Stone Show, and I'm pretty sure he's related to my good friend Roger Stone. That's his uncle, Alex Stone. First time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Alex Stone Show. We are here at AmFest, the greatest celebration of President Trump's victory that you'll ever find. I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest political strategist, I believe, of all time, and my faux uncle, Roger Stone. Roger, how are you doing today?
Alex, great to be with you. I am incredibly proud of you and how far you've come, particularly that you're nicely clean-shaven today, and you've upped your game in the sartorial area. I'm very proud of you. You are out there preaching the gospel of our Lord, preaching the America First agenda. I could not be prouder of you.
Well, Roger, I'm honored to call you a friend and even a mentor of sorts to me. I've learned a lot from you. I remember the first time I ever interviewed you, I was wearing a t-shirt. I knew that was a terrible mistake afterwards.
And you hadn't shaved.
And I haven't shaved. But I shave now, and I wear suits when I interview Roger. Roger, you know, we've won the presidential election. What do you think is next for America?
Well, I really think that we are potentially on the cusp of an unprecedented era, a golden era, call it the age of Trump, if you will,
Sure.
where we have peace and prosperity and security and, yes, justice. We should not be sanguine about the fact that those on the hard left who hate America, who want to cancel the Constitution, who don't believe in God, don't think we should be free to worship God, that they're just going to give up and walk away, because they're not. And therefore we don't know what tricks they have up their sleeve. They use the levers of government to cheat. The law, the Constitution, the rules, these things are meaningless to them. So I think we have to be realistic about that. I have said this to you before, I'm concerned about the safety of our president between now and the time that he becomes president and gets the full protection of the Secret Service, perhaps under a different Secret Service director. This is something I pray about every day. Shenanigans regarding the certification of his election, well, I don't know. They said delaying certification of a presidential election was a crime for which you should go to jail, unless Jamie Raskin, the most despicable piece of human garbage in the Congress, he talks openly about. So it's not a crime when he does it. It's only allegedly a crime when Donald Trump allegedly does it.
Interesting.
Please.
So you know, you mentioned Secret Service and everything. Do you think Dan Bongino will eventually take the head of Secret Service?
I would think that is unlikely. I love Dan Bongino, but I also think he's very important where he is,
Okay.
as a voice of truth,
Okay.
and as a voice of reason. And he brings a historical perspective to these issues, since he did work for the Secret Service. So I would think that the president can find someone equally qualified, because I think Dan is just too valuable where he is.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we've seen is President Trump has appointed Susie Wiles to be chief of staff.
Yes.
And I remember what you said about that the clown car will not be able to get into President Trump's administration. How do you feel about all of that going on?
Well, so far, so good. I mean, it was Susie Wiles who was a major factor in the alliance between Robert Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard and the entire Make America Healthy movement,
Sure.
and Donald Trump. It was Susie Wiles who negotiated the terms of that alliance. I think that she is subjected to an enormous amount of totally false and unfair criticism. No, she was never a lobbyist for Big Pharma. That's just a lie. No, she was never with the World Economic Forum's Young Political Leaders program. That's a lie. She's been extraordinarily effective in helping the president implement his agenda, first helping him implement his campaign strategy, then helping him implement his presidency. Now, she has not been completely successful in keeping clowns out of the administration. I speak, for example, of Dr. Sebastian Gorka, who's a neocon who thinks we should ship billions more to Ukraine. I mean, I have no idea why this guy's in the administration. So she hasn't been completely successful, but by and large, I think this is an all-star cabinet. Hegseth, Kennedy, Gabbard, Pam Bondi particularly, who I think is going to be a great attorney general. So I'm a strong supporter of Susie Wiles. She's enormously competent. It is not about what she thinks. It's about her ability to carry out what the president wants done. And she's been enormously effective at that.
I absolutely agree. And you spoke of Pete Hegseth, and you just so happen to share the same bodyguard as him.
Yes, it's amazing.
I love that.
That guy's become more famous than me now.
He's great, and I've met him many times. I think he's phenomenal, and he does a good job at pissing people off and keeping people away from you who don't need to be near you.
We're speaking of Jay Hassenbein, who provides personal security. He's done it for me, done it for General Flynn, now doing it for Pete Hegseth. He's not only a brave guy, he's a very knowledgeable guy. He's a professional. You know, just being big and having a gun that you're licensed to carry does not make you an expert on personal security. But Jay knows his craft, and I feel a lot safer when he's with me.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Pete Hegseth feels the same way.
Absolutely. So we talk a lot about politics when you come on my show. I want to take a shift away from politics and talk about Stone's rules. You're obviously very fashionable. You know your stuff. Give me the top 3 Stone's rules in your opinion.
Well, first and most importantly, a gentleman at least should always dress for the activity you're going to engage in. In other words, if you're going to a nice restaurant, don't wear gym clothes. If you're going to the gym, don't wear a 3-piece suit. This is not complicated. And if you're going to go to a shopping mall, let me give you a hint. You'll get much more respect and attention from salespeople if you are well-dressed than if you are dressed like a hobo. So people need to understand that the way you are dressed and the way you are groomed is how people perceive you. And they take you more seriously if you are well-dressed and well-groomed. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should dress like me. I have evolved a personal style that is mine. And what looks good on me may not look good on you.
Sure.
But your shirt needs to be clean. It needs to be ironed.
Can
you
you
be shaved and well groomed?
Can you give us an insight into the best and worst dress list of 2024?
I'm beginning to look at the best dress list, but I don't want to give away any names because people immediately then come to me and they want to bribe me. There are actually people who have offered me money to get on the list. Let me be clear. So people know this tradition. 15 years ago, there was a syndicated columnist named Mr. Blackwell, who was very famous, put out a best and worst dress list every year. But when he passed away, I said, wow, that's a great tradition. We should continue that tradition.
Sure.
So I started producing the list. This will be my 16th year. It's getting harder and harder, by the way, because unfortunately many people in the world, because it's an international list, they don't care about how they're dressed. They don't care about how they look. So it's harder and harder to choose the best people. It's harder and harder. It's not that hard to find the worst people. And I don't want to name any names, Steve Bannon. So, you'll see it on New Year's Day. It'll be up on the Stone Zone, probably several other outlets. Stay tuned. My international best and worst dress list. It's funny because the New York Times just produced their list of the most stylish people in 2024.
Were you on it?
It was garbage. I mean, first of all, it was ideological. Joe Biden's been on my list. I don't love Joe Biden, but Joe Biden always has a great necktie. Joe Biden is very well dressed. He may be non-compos mentis, but he's still very well dressed.
Speaking of Steve Bannon, if you watch War Room, stop it and listen to the Stone Zone Monday through Friday. Please do that.
Well, look, people are free to watch whatever they want, but I think you will enjoy the Stone Zone every day at 8 o'clock Eastern on Rumble at rumble.com/Roger Stone, the Stone Zone. Also, we have to get you on sometime. Every Sunday, we do 3 hours of radio, WABC Radio in New York, the largest most powerful, most influential AM radio station in the world. And you can listen to us no matter where you live at wabcradio.com. That's from 3 to 6 every Sunday afternoon, Eastern Time.
Roger, thank you so much. Guys, also, I like to support Roger. He's always been dealing with legal stuff since 2015, 2016. So please go support Roger. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code STONE, S-T-O-N-E, our last name, great last name. And you can get a discount of up to 66% off of your order. Also, if you need more Stones Rules, go get the Stones Rules book by going to stonesrulesbook.com. It's a fabulous book, and our mutual friend Tucker Carlson wrote the foreword for it. Thank you all so much for listening. God bless you all, and goodbye.
Great to be with you.
Thank you.